Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne, in lockdown Tuesday. But let's go up to Bendigo in particular, who are not in lockdown at the moment, of course, and of course being to one of our ambassadors at the City West Falcons. Of course, her name's Zoe. She joins us right now. Thanks, Zoe, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Will.
No worries. Well, a week off this week in regards to playing wise, and maybe another week depending on when these restrictions at lockdown is going to unfold. But what have you been doing to hopefully get yourself back on the court again, considering the restrictions have eased there in Bendigo?
Yeah, so I'm quite lucky. We've been told that we're playing this Saturday, just obviously not with as many spectators, so that's going to be great. Bit of practice in there. Otherwise, Marg and the other coaches of City West Falcons have been unreal in setting up Zoom sessions 3 times a week for us to keep our fitness up, with also weights programs and other running programs to put in with pretty much just one rest day at the moment. So they're definitely still pushing us and telling us to make sure that we're fit and healthy and ready for finals time, just in case the lockdown does continue and we can't get out until finals does hit. And I think that is roughly 2 weeks.
Now, you mentioned that you get to play on Saturday with the lockdown lifting last night. I guess how good is to be back on the court for, considering I guess the last time you would have played would have been last Wednesday?
Yeah, so it definitely felt last Wednesday. I'm still feeling it in the calves. It was the shock to the body again. So this Saturday is just going to be great, just to get ball in hand and just to be able to, I guess you don't really get on-court experience until you play a game. Like, you can't get the fitness until you play a game. It's all in that matter of time that you get those quarters in with another team, just to kind of set you up ready for VNL.
Now, you mentioned before that obviously last Wednesday, obviously was the first VNL game back after the other lockdown. Now, I guess now with the all restrictions lifting, you get to play obviously locally yourself. Is that easy to just, I guess, move your way through in regards to playing football netball league before you go into VNL?
Yes, but no. I feel like no level of footy netball is as high as VNL. It is hard to get that kind of speed, and even like playing in a stadium, like you don't get that with footy netball. It's a completely different game. But you also do get, though, a new bunch of girls to play with, but you also get players you don't usually play against. You get the opportunity to trial new things. I guess you get more of an opportunity to be able to do trial and error in a Saturday's game to be able to develop you further for your VNL on the Wednesday night. That's probably the best part.
Now, of course, you're not the only Falcon that is in the regional area. Obviously, there's a couple in the Bendigo area, as well as obviously over in Shepparton as well, in the Golden Valley competition. I guess how much of the benefit is it to, get your chance to play, even though I'm sure most of your teammates are down here in Melbourne, obviously stuck in lockdown?
Well, funny enough, I'm actually playing in the GV League. So I'm playing with all the Shep girls that are at City West Falcons. I've got Jessie from Div 1 in my team. She's my goal attack. Also with the likes of a couple of the scholarship girls and 19s. They've come up before in the A grade as well. So I'm pretty lucky I still get that bit of communication, and I get to play against a lot of the girls that are in the Falcons that play for the other teams in the GV League.
So, Zoe, I need to ask you then, you just mentioned you're moving across to the GB League. That's a fair hike in regards to a drive. Why did you decide to go to the Golden Valley?
Well, I have been a kind of, I don't know if you'll say, as a club slut in Bendigo. I have been in the 3 leagues. I have experienced them all, and they're very different. But I guess for Bendigo, and having the 3 leagues, players don't change. You're playing the same team, the same top 5 is the same top 5 every single year. Nothing really changes. And just for me, I just wanted to kind of branch out and just experience other players, experience a harder level, experience different competition, and just looking for ways to keep improving myself, because I just felt like in Bendigo I did get a bit stagnant because I knew who I was up against, I knew their strengths, and they knew who I was. So I guess I just wanted a new challenge And yeah, Jesse called me out one night and said, "Hey, what's your thoughts on coming to Shep?" And I said, "All right, let's give it a go."
So how you find it in the Golden Valley competition, which obviously is a pretty tough competition in itself. I know that for a fact. I guess how you finding it in that competition, and especially how's your team traveling there?
I think we are second by percentage, so we're equal first. We were undefeated until just over halfway through the season. Just before lockdown, we lost to second place. So that was a tough game in the rain. Can't say I do that often. But it's a completely different league. Like the teams diverse, like even the probably teams under the top 5, like they're still tough. Like the score might be out by 20 or 30, but it doesn't feel that way. Like the other teams just keep going, and it's just a great atmosphere. And I do find like there's a lot more definitely VNL ready players in that GV league that have been unnoticed. So definitely high remarks for them guys.
Now, you might as well tell us who your GB League is, team. And are you trying to chase down Seymour at the moment, who are the reigning champs?
Well, I'm playing for Shep United. And at the moment, finals is looking at being between us and Echuca.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we bet Echuca, and then we've lost against Echuca. So that's been our toughest. They're just the only team that kind of just matches up perfectly against us. So that's where the finals might be lying.
Okay, that's surprising. I didn't think you were going to say.
Yeah, so
I didn't think you were going to say Echuca then, but
apparently a lot of Kyabram have gone to Echuca, I've heard, and they've kind of stacked their team up, and they're very talented across the whole court. So
now, have you tried to convince any of the Echuca girls to maybe come down to the Falcons next year?
Couldn't say I actually know any of them yet. I'm still trying to learn. When the girls in the huddle say, "Oh, this person," I'm like, "Which one's that again?" "Oh, you know, the wing attack." "Right, that one." Still trying to figure out names in this league.
Oh, good. Now let's talk a bit about obviously the Falcons side of things in the championship competition. Currently undefeated. Technically undefeated. You haven't lost a game yet because you had the draw in round 1. But other than that, you haven't lost a game yet this year. Are you reasonably happy where you are at the moment?
I think before COVID, we like having a chat with Solly the other day after our game. We did talk about how awesome the season was going for us as a team. We felt like from round 1 all the way up to, couldn't even tell you which round it was, we just as a group, we were clicking. Everything was just falling into place, and it proved against MU in that. I think Melbourne Uni was our last game. Maybe I can't remember. Yeah. So with Melbourne Uni, like it just showed that we were all connected, but we're all driven and wanted to win together. There was no like individuals. There was no like, I've got to do this or I've got to do that. It was just awesome. It was a great atmosphere. And hoping that we can all keep that with this lockdown going into finals. Because that's, I think, the biggest thing for us is we're all such a very talented group. And if we can put that together and everyone be motivated together, we're unstoppable.
One thing I noticed, obviously, I've been official for the Falcons, and especially a lot of your games throughout the 2021 season. I guess you get off to a reasonably slow start to games at times, and then you pull away in the second quarter. But obviously, second quarter is probably the biggest quarters you've actually your team's won all year, winning about 10.5 quarters per throughout the season. I get, and obviously the last quarter is where you seem to steamroll in the last quarter as well. Is that something that you try to improve on in regards to winning all 4 quarters?
Yeah, we have spoken about that because against, like, say, for Geelong that we should have been playing tomorrow night, that was going to be a massive game. And they're a team that match up really well against us. So for us to beat a team like Geelong, we need to be giving our full effort for the whole 4 quarters. And I think we did talk about just that first quarter effort. Like if our warm-up's not suitable for everyone, then individually, like you've got to get yourself prepared because it's if it's going to be a tight game, like you can't let a good team like Geelong or MU pull away at the start because you're just chasing for the rest of the game. So it is definitely something that we're going into finals, looking at making sure that our first quarter is our number one to say that we're here, we're ready to go and making a mark.
What is said in the huddle at the quarter time and 3/4 time breaks? Because it seemed to really click. And as I mentioned, you're the best second quarter and final quarter team in the competition. What seems to click in the quarter time breaks?
There's definitely a lot said, but it's more, I guess, put into different components. Like for the defense end, like we've got our small huddle where we chat about like what's working, what's not, what can we do from here. Same as the attack end. Like I couldn't tell you one thing they say at that end, but when we come in together, Maggie just has a heart of gold. Like she tells us straight and gives us goals and says, this is what we're aiming for. This is what we're going to do. Let's do it. I know you're all capable. Like her motivation is just incredible. And even like the moment she stepped on for Collingwood, like you heard her voice over everyone's. She's just got that power to bring us up. And as what we all say as a group, like we're going to be there for you, Mags, as much as you're there for us. And I think that motivation from her, and then us being like, yeah, let's do it, from every end, from the defense to the mid-court to the shooters, everyone's ready to back each other up. So it's almost like getting rid of those first quarter jitters. All right, throw that out of the bag. That wasn't good enough. Let's actually do what we're here to do.
Obviously, the team has been pretty much the same throughout the whole year. Obviously, you haven't had much adversity in regards to losing players to the Suncourt Super Netball throughout the year, like other teams. How important is that to keep the core group together for pretty much most of this year so far? You haven't had much change in the championship teams compared to other teams in the competition.
It definitely keeps us very lucky because we're still obviously creating that bond with all this start, stop. It's very hard to keep just that bond with each other because people are dealing with so many different things. But I feel like even with our other players, like having Lucia on the bench from Div 1 when we've had an injury, or another player that's come onto our bench, like they come up and they're super excited because they just want to be part of the atmosphere. Like it's not whether you get on the court or you don't get on the court. It's literally we're there together. Let's do it together. And I feel that's the best part about the Falcons is it's quite a family-orientated club. Like everyone there is for everyone. Like, so no matter what group you're from, Div 19s, Div 1, Champ, everyone's there to back each other. And you can just feel that. And I feel like for our club, even if someone was to go up to a high level, we're all 100% supporting that person. And we know how big the shoes are we're stepping into with the support of everyone else on our team.
Tell us a bit about Montana Holmes. She's had an outstanding, I'm assuming this is her first year, with the Falcons, playing in that centre position. Tell us, number one, I'm assuming you're not surprised the way she's playing, but how special has she been this year, considering I think pretty sure this is her first season?
Yeah, and the biggest thing is she had Molly Jovic's shoes to fill. And Molly's been in the Falcons for a long time and is an incredible player. So for Mon to come in and be able to do exactly pretty much what Molly does is just amazing. Like even with her ability to come into wing defense and play hard one-on-one, she's just another asset for the team that just fits in perfectly. Like Molly's out, Mon's in, you wouldn't even know the difference. And you can tell as well, like her positivity, like she's enjoying netball. And you can see it on her face as well. Like she's just loving. And that is what we want to create, is just that love for netball, having fun, the determination to win, everything.
So I have to ask then as a follow-up, considering obviously you mentioned that obviously she's doing a very similar role as you mentioned to Molly. I guess it must be going to be pretty hard to get Molly back in the side, considering how great Montana has been this year.
I think Molly's cemented herself in Suncorp. I think she's really pushed herself hard and worked hard to get there. So I couldn't see her dropping down anytime soon.
Now let's talk a bit about your defensive side of the the court, obviously, Solly, right in front of you in wing defence. And then obviously there's a bit of rotating in the goal defence, goalkeeper side of things. Tell us how important those your 4 core players that you have in the defensive side.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're 4 completely different players. Like, we do not play the same at all. And that's probably the best part about it. And like Mel, myself, and Solly can all play wing defense. Solly can go out to the center. Sarah's come out to goal defense before. I've gone keeper. Like, our rotation and the ability to win games from rotating everyone is just spectacular. And it just shows the trust that we have in each other. And just the ability to be like, all right, let's do it. Like, I'm playing goal defense today. Yep, love it. Playing keeper, why not? And you can see it, like, even like going on the bench and watching Sarah and Mal out there, like, it's just fantastic. The way, like, a ball goes in straight away. All right, what are we doing to fix this? Like, there's so much communication and drive, and it's just solely because of our team. Like, the attack ends constantly cheering us on, and we just want to keep giving back as much as we can.
I know this is going to sound the most silliest question asked, considering we've done 11 weeks in the season now, up to this point. Now, obviously, is this year's team better than the 2018 team that won it in 2018?
Interesting question. I think there's different parts of both those teams that make them the best team. I think so, like, having new younger players is what drives us to do better. And I don't know, like, I feel like both teams are, yes, they're so similar from 2018 and now, but they're so different and they've been impacted in completely different ways. So I feel like in 2018, we had to win from day dot. Like, we couldn't lose, otherwise we're out. Right now, we've got almost like half a brand new team, but we're stop, start. Like, it's just a completely different scenario. Like, it's so tough to answer that because it's just a different world now. Like, yeah, it would be interesting to see. Like, I feel like it would be the same outcome with this team compared to back then as well.
So it'd be especially your your defensive side, because you had Jackie in that team, because in goalkeeper. So that would have made a pretty interesting lineup down that defensive side of things.
Yeah, and we also had Anya step in as wing defense. So yeah, we lost 2 of those guys, and we've gained 3.
3,
yeah.
Yep.
3 new players, which is awesome.
Obviously with the Falcons at the moment, so obviously yourselves are on top of the ladder. Obviously with the Div 1 are in 4th at the moment, and obviously the 19's just outside in 5th. I guess, do you get a chance to, give them a bit of advice to hopefully get themselves back into the finals race and hopefully make the finals?
Well, I guess it's so tough at the moment because if lockdown keeps going on, it almost sucks because they won't get given a chance. Like, Div 1 will, but 19s won't get that opportunity where they have been working so much harder at training and they have been coming together as a group and really working on those small little fine details. It just really sucks for those guys that it's happened at the end of the season when they haven't been able to get those games in and show what they're actually made of. But definitely, like, they're a young group as well, like, so going into next year and knowing, like, that this could happen, they're going to be a lot more driven at the start of the year to be like, all right, we know our role, like, we can do this together. And that training, like, you can see, like, they're very confident and they've got a lot of courage in everything they do. And they'll just keep pushing each other along. It just, yeah, I guess the worst part is that it is the end of the season now with everything that's happened. So hopefully we do get that extra game or 2 that can push them over the line. But if they only get 1 more game, then I know they'll give it their all. But until we know what's actually going on, yeah, it's hard just to give that advice at the moment because you can't really build them up and say, yep, you've got finals, like, keep working hard, and then it just be taken away.
Obviously, the others that I had on the show last week, which I'm going to ask the same question to you. Now, with the 19s, obviously that it's a pretty new team, but maybe two players still left from that 2019 team that won it. I guess how difficult has that been, especially for the new players that haven't experienced VNL? Have you tried to give advice early in the season in regards to what to expect from the VNL side of things?
I think coming into the atmosphere that Marg creates is almost this like showing you what you're about to come into. Her expectation is huge. And you can see that on game day, how much she talks to everyone and going like, you know what your job is. Because at training, like she makes it clear how hard we need to work, how much we need to concentrate on our basics. And these everyone that's come into this club that's new, even like Montana, like Marg really focuses on those groups and she lets them know like this is what it's like. This isn't your Saturday netball. This is VNL. This is what we're bringing as a club. So I think the atmosphere that's created through the Falcons almost brings them up during pre-season on showing them what this is about and how hard this is going to be and what motivation they need in themselves and the confidence they need to be like, they've got this. Because for Marg, I feel like her biggest like thing is your confidence in yourself, because she has confidence for you, but you need that confidence for yourself to be able to do that on the court. So I think honestly it starts from day dot. As soon as like I know a few of the girls in the 19s team are actually scholarship, and they've been given the opportunity because they've worked so hard and proven themselves, and now they're playing VNL. And I think for a couple of them, they even got their first call up for state, which is awesome. Like just the ability to everything's fallen into place, the right place, the right time this year, because you've worked under Marg Lind.
Going further from that, as you just mentioned, of course, about Marg, what have you learnt from your time, I guess, being coached under her, and especially that you've seen in your game that's been improved?
A lot of mine was mental. So I started at the Falcons in scholarship probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I got dropped. I wasn't good enough to make 19s. But they called me and told me I need to get game time and it wasn't going to be with them. And when I was ready to come back. So that took me 3 years until I called them up and said, hey, have you got a spot? I really want to come to your selections. And they said, come to the first selection and we'll let you know. So I went to the first selection thinking I was going to give it my all. Like, this is the club I want to be at. Like, I've already had an opportunity. I missed it. Here we go again. On that night, Marg said, look, potentially I'm looking maybe Div 1 if that, and probably as a wing defence. And I said, yep, I take it. Even though my previous club I was in champ, I was like, nah, I'll take it. And then over the time, Marg's just taught me mentally. She's believed in me the whole time, but I didn't believe in myself. So for me coming back to the Falcons, it was about learning that it's okay to throw the ball away, but what's my next action? Like, what is my strengths and what are my weaknesses? What do I give to the team? And how do I put that all together without overwhelming myself? And I think with that, and obviously a lot of like Marg training is so tough, I feel like I'm quite now a lot stronger in the ability to prepare myself, fitness, strength, all that for a game. But now mentally I'm prepared. Like I'm not a nervous wreck anymore. I'm not stressing about anything. I'm more just excited. And I think that's the biggest thing that's helped improve my game is just to have the confidence in my ability and the confidence that my team has my back to be able to do what I can do. And I have felt this year has been the best year, even though I've barely had any time, that I've got to display that. So yeah, like she's definitely helped the physical and everything like that. But the biggest thing for me was mental. To say, you've got it.
When you came back to the Falcons, and I was I think that was 2018, wasn't it?
Yes, that was. Yep.
Yeah. So did you ever thought from that day that you got selected to come back to the Falcons, and obviously, did you ever thought you were going to play in the Championship Grand Final against the rival Geelong? And number two, did you thought that, and I guess dreamt that you were going to win the Grand Final MVP in a Premiership team?
100% no. I honestly, on that moment, she said Div 1, I was like, yes, I will take that. Like, that is amazing. I can't believe I'll be at the Falcons. That was my main thing. My main thought of process was I called Mum and said, hey, I'm going to be at the Falcons. Like, I made Div 1. How awesome is this? And then things just kept going the right way. Like, I worked really hard. And when they found out a couple girls left, it just opened a few positions up. And yeah, as Mark said, if you really want it, you need to go for it. So, and that was a massive year because I guess I didn't just get put there. I had to earn it. I had to earn that spot on the court, and they trusted in me at the end, obviously, in the grand final to get the job done. And that was probably the best feeling.
I guess, looking back, obviously having hopefully another chance to making that grand final again, and hopefully reliving that, hopefully another premiership, hopefully 2 in 3 seasons. Do you kick yourself in regards to, how amazing that grand final was for you, especially the way you played and especially the players that you played around you? Obviously you had Jackie in that goal defence, who now playing in Suncourt Super Netball. You had Solly, and obviously I guess a national representative for her own country in Samoa, and obviously Molly Jovic in the middle.
Yeah, look, like I do look at it, and I even look at some of the players like that I have played against. Gabby from Collingwood, Sam Gooden, like there's even like Alice Teague now when I was on scholarship. Like she was at the Falcons, and it is incredible to know that like the players I play against or play with, have been so far and are going so far. And it just, I guess, gives me a bit more inspiration to say, hey, like I was there with you, like that means I can do it too. And like even now, like we've got Mel and Emma who are part of the Collingwood program, like they're learning so much and they're coming back and teaching us as well. Like even though they're new to champ, like it's just incredible the amount of talent that Marg has like rang and created at the Falcons, because you almost watch them and be like, God, I want to do that one day. Like you're my teammate. I'm going to be your teammate again one day. You just wait. Like there's a lot of inspiration definitely. And like even for Solly, like she goes under the radars all the time. She's done wonders, like playing against New Zealand and England. What a dream. And for her own country, like that is amazing. She's a flawless player.
Yes. I was hoping you were going to mention that last bit.
Yeah.
Now, 2 final ones before I let you go. The first one is obviously Richo. It's now with the Magpies. Obviously, been with the Falcons for a while herself. I guess, I know it's going to sound a really silly question to ask, but I guess, are you surprised the way that she's really successfully doing so well in the Suncourt Super Netball from the experience that you've had with Richo?
Oh, for sure. Like her and Marg, literally like sisters. Everything that happened, like they talked about everything and they feed off each other so well. Like Richo was down our defense end a lot, and she was always the one getting my hands ready because my hands weren't ready in the first quarter and they had to be like, and she just thinks about all those small little details to be like, all right, this player needs this player needs this, like let's do it. And I think coming into a brand new team as well, with old heads, new heads, like, and to be able to win as many games as she did compared to last year, like that's pretty awesome, because I feel like not many people thought that they could do it, and they were so close to finals, like, and look who's in the finals. Like she's definitely done wonders, and I think she's definitely earned that contract for the next few years, because she's turned nothing into something. And hopefully Collingwood will be as big as the Vixens in Victoria soon.
And the last one is, how special is to still be our ambassador, or one of 6 or 7 Falcons players, because part of our Smash FM family.
Yeah, bloody awesome. We love it. Hats are cool, shirts are cool, and just the support. Like, Will, you're a fantastic person. You're such a positive character, and it's great. Like, there's like lost for words on what you could actually say, because like you're so welcoming, and you're like just awesome to be part of this group. And I know the other girls just love it as well. We always see him, always like, hey, Will, what's going on?
We are so happy that you're still our Smash FM ambassador, one of 7 that we have there at the Falcons, and can't wait to hopefully get back to catching up with you all again once everything opens up again, and especially when I get down there and do another bench official down there with the Falcons game. Hopefully it is against the Cougars. That'll be an interesting game for me to do. But best of luck, especially on the weekend, obviously in the Gone Valley League, and hopefully for Shep United, you can keep winning those games up there. And obviously it would be great to have you back with the Falcons once, Melbourne gets out of lockdown.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's this Thursday, isn't it? Yes,
correct.
Lost the days. Yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries. And that's Zoe there, joins from the City West Falcons, because, as I said, in part of the Championship Division team that are currently on top of the ladder, a game and a half clear of Melbourne Uni. Of course, hopefully to increase that lead, of course, with hopefully when they verse against Geelong, hopefully whenever that will be. That will. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.